Hey guys, welcome to JasonWhiskyWise and myself, Jason, bringing you whiskey review number 38, where we're going to review the Kavalan Solist Fino Sherry Cask. Now, I got myself a dram from Drinks by the Dram, and that's because I couldn't find a bottle in central London. So, as I couldn't find one, I had to just get the next best thing, which is a dram from online. Now, if you'd like to see how the bottle looks, I'll ping one just in over there. So the Solist Fino Sherry, if you're new to the Solist range and you haven't heard of them, the Solist are single cask bottlings, so from Kavalan, and they're from Taiwan if you don't know where the region is, but I'll get through that as we get through the review. So I reviewed quite a few of the whiskies so far, and this is going to be the last for a little while, and then I'll review the remaining ones I haven't reviewed already. So without further ado, I poured myself a little dram, as you can see over there, and in my review style structure, we'll begin with the age of the whiskey. Now, Kavalan do not like to specify the age, but if you do know how to read it, this one is actually somewhere between 4 to 7 years old. That's what they do with all the Solists. And actually, I'll have a video coming out either this week, coming up soon, which will explain how to reveal your actual age behind your Kavalan Solist. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And also click the subscribe button if you want to check out more whiskey reviews, because I've done so many. I'll leave them links here, there, and there at the end of the video. So, age-wise, between 4 to 7 years, I'd say on average. ABV of this one is bottled at 57% ABV. The cask selection is a single cask, and it is the Fino Sherry Cask, which is a very unique style of cask that they use. The distillery is the Kavalan Distillery, which you'll see. I'll just ping it over there. And they are owned by the King Carl Group. Now, the actual region and origin for this distillery is in Yilan County, Taiwan, and you can see that's pretty much Taiwan over there, just south of Taipei City. So, next we're going to move into the price of this whiskey, and this is actually an interesting one. This is £290 on average at this moment in time for the Fino Sherry Cask. So you're looking at a very sort of high-priced whiskey, and some places I've seen $350, and I've not seen anything cheaper than £260. So around about £300 is the average price for the Fino Sherry. Now, in exclusivity-wise, I'd say yes, it is. Because it picked up so many gold awards, Kavalan has been picking up so many gold awards across the board that it has become very difficult to source. And in terms of exclusivity-wise, as they are all in batch numbers, each batch will differ from the next. So that's why I will say it is exclusive. So batch differences will be there. Now, in terms of caramel colouring, there is no caramel colouring. This is all natural colour and non-chill filtered. So without further ado, let's get into the assessment of the whiskey, and we'll begin by actually assessing the colour. And this one actually has quite a nice little deep colour to it with the Fino Sherry, and I'd say it's more or less on the lines of a deep amber. It's got a beautiful dark hue to it. So let's get into the nose next. So to begin the actual nose assessment, this one is really, really sweet, and it definitely gives you the sweeter notes to begin with. A little spike of the ABV, they're just making itself present at 57% ABV, and then the sweeter notes come back into play. You're getting sort of nice toffee notes, a little bit of sort of sticky caramel, also slight, well, I'd say heaps of sherries actually in there, a little bit of spices, dark chocolate pralines, and also a little bit of freshly ground coffee. But I'm going to have a second nosing, and we'll see what other notes of the spices will reveal. So in from the second nosing, and the spices, there's quite a few different spices, like a little spice tray, and you're just picking out on different ones. You're getting cinnamon powder, hints of grated nutmeg, a little bit of citrus, which is more towards, I'd say, dried orange slices. And then also what reminds me of a fruitcake mix, but not so super heavily stewed. It's sort of like a medium sort of strength to it. And I'm also getting a little bit of freshness of green cardamom, and then rich cocoa powder right on the back there, which is really just the way it makes it gorgeous. A lot of complexity and depth on the nose, which is beautiful, and a lot of sweetness. So next we're going to move into the palate. So my initial impressions of the first tasting is that this one does begin quite, what I'd say is the entry is more towards a medium full on the palate, and as you leave it there, the ABV sort of just literally lets you know it is present, and then it fades very quickly develops into spices, the mouthfeel actually becomes a bit more viscous, a bit more fuller and thicker in texture. And then those spices reveal themselves, and I'm getting cinnamon powder, a little bit of grated nutmeg, allspice, and definitely what makes itself sort of into a way of a mocha coffee. So a little bit of that sweetness, but at the same time the freshness. And then from there, you're getting sort of like a toasted caramel. Maybe a toasted brown sugar. No, toasted caramel. So a little bit of, burnt caramel. That's more on the lines. And then from there it sort of worked into more, as I say, it's more to a fruitier note, so like a dried fruits. So then they're really just making themselves known, but that spice palette is definitely there. So we're going to have a second tasting and see what other notes we can develop on the second tasting. So from the second tasting, and carrying on from those dry fruits, to actually analyze those dry fruits a bit further, I'm getting more towards almost drying figs. So it's still juicy, but a little bit of dryness there. More towards also sticky dates. So they're giving you that nice sort of richness and a little sweet coating on the outside. And then right behind that, I'm getting a slight toasted note of toasted walnuts. And what reminds me of creamy banana. Like a banana cream. Really interesting palette. So next we're going to move into the finish, and I'll come on to my overall comments for the whiskey. So into the finish. So next, moving into the finish for this whiskey, I'd say it's more towards a medium-long finish. Actually, more towards a long finish in this whiskey. I'm getting those spices coming back. A little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of cocoa powder, dried oranges, a little bit of those dry fruits playing themselves ever so gently on the back of the palate. And then I'm getting what reminds me of Mayuka honey, covering those dates again. Those dates are genuinely back there on the finish. So overall, I'm going to give my rating for this whiskey, and I've already decided this one way ahead of time. And this is going up there. It's another whiskey that is going to get one of those very, very solid ratings. And hopefully this does stand up quite nicely. But I'm going to give it a 95 out of 100 because with the Solist Fino cask and my overall opinion on it, you're getting a fantastic whiskey, that sort of perfect balance. And it's difficult where to begin because you're getting that perfect harmony that works with the sweetness, the spices, and the way they combine very well and sort of give you that silky mouth coating feel. It just works so perfectly together. On the other side, the ABV can be felt a little bit more than compared to the other Solist that I've reviewed. But that's where I've taken that little, giving it a higher rating and taking that down just a little bit. The next sort of downside I'd say is the price at around about $2.90. But then again, it is exclusive, so because the Fino Sherry cask is not openly used by many whiskey companies, so that side it is unique in its own respect. So, but overall, fantastic whiskey. If it was a bit less in price, by all means, this would be something I would recommend every single minute if you could get your hands onto it. But as the price is a little bit high, if you're looking to treat yourself and you want that sort of nice balance of sweetness and spice, this is something I think you'll thoroughly enjoy. And if you don't have a chance to get a bottle, do what I did, go to Drinks by the Dram and get yourself a dram. By the way, not paid by them, so I had to buy this by myself. So anyway, let me know what you guys think of the Kavalan Solist Fino. If you have tried it before, check out my other videos, which I'll leave over here, here, and there. And be sure to keep subscribed, as there'll be more YouTube reviews coming out very soon. But this has been Jason from WhiskyWise, and I'll catch you all for the next video.